Now, I've said this once and I'll say it again, but in 2025, you are going to begin to realize that more and more corporations and/or studios are going to begin to dump their overall DEI agenda, which, by the way, stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. You're already beginning to see some corporations doing just that, while others are beginning to actually double down on that agenda. We all saw what happened with Jaguar, by the way. That's a very big subject that we will be talking about in the coming days, so stay tuned. However, when it comes down to The View, such as the hosts like Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin. We have a lot more to talk about Sunny, by the way, when it comes to her overall stance toward the general public. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, we know that Sunny Hostin is the most insufferable host on The View. That's what I always like to put out there, by the way. I think that she definitely outperforms Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and others as the most insufferable TV show host on live television. This is exactly why I think that she needs to be replaced, and why, by the way, there have indeed been conversations between the Disney Board of Directors, the executives, handing down these orders down to the ABC executives, that they are looking to actually get rid of her to put in a more argumentative voice against Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar as a Hail Mary move to basically improve ratings. So they want arguments on that show now instead of a universal agreement. Well, what's interesting here about this, alright, is that we know that Sunny Hostin is not taking criticism very well, both behind the scenes and in the public eye, and it's beginning to show in a more direct manner now, as she is beginning to go on the blame game train and scapegoating and playing the victim card and doing all of this nonsense. Now, with multiple studios doubling down on DEI, while other corporations are either beginning to dump DEI or embrace it, one monumental development going on now involves more to do with Sunny Hostin of The View and what she had to deliver to the public in the aftermath of the backlash that she gained after all the recent inflammatory comments that she displayed over the past several years, and especially 3 weeks. Hostin delivered the following: "Looking at this country, I realize it's a very mean and judgmental place, and we still don't have unity when we should in 2024. I think the greatest issue that we face today, we individuals that take everything out of context, and I have witnessed that with myself, with the comments that I made over the past couple of weeks, everything was always taken out of context when it came to my feelings about the country and about where we stand, and I realize now that there is this false narrative getting thrown around there for a while now, that we at The View support pressing an agenda on the general public, when that's just not the case at all. The same people that take my words out of context are the very same people that want to live under a man, and we all know his name by now, for the next 4 years to embrace pure sexism and misogyny, and how bigotry is now becoming the norm. And this is something that I agree with Whoopi on, is that we need to find a way to fix that in the coming years. We need to be competitive in the next 4 years, and it may be healthier for us if we keep that in a challenge to rise above from the darkness, you know? I believe I did not deserve the blame that I got at all. It was all something I did not deserve, and it all came from a place of bigotry. Something that, quite frankly, half this country seems like they want to support. I am seeing so many corporations now beginning to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's already scaring me. It's frightening. That change is already happening, and not for the better. We are seeing all these major companies doing away with the promises that they made to people like me, that diversity, equity, and inclusion is the heart and soul of success by creating unity, and they are already ditching that. What does that tell you about what's going to happen in the next 4 years? I take pride in some companies, however, that are doing everything in their power to keep DEI in their priorities, because that's what's really needed to be in the norm. Now guys, before I move on about what Sunny is spewing yet again, let me just say one thing about this, is that one thing that I think a lot of these talents, she's not really a talent, let's be clear, but one thing a lot of these personalities or people on television, people in the film industry, one major mistake that they always make is that they either A, drag politics into their career because no one wants to hear your political opinion when you're a major celebrity, or even somebody like a producer, a director, writer, whatever it may be. People don't want to hear that. They are there to entertain. They are there to actually act, produce, write, direct, whatever it is. That's all what the public wants to see. Do your job and focus on that instead. Number two, they always tend to blame the general public's response to their politics. And this is really ramping up now to a new degree that we have never seen before as we head into 2025, and I think it's only going to get worse when it comes to the reactions that we are seeing from all of these different personalities, right? So here's the other thing about Sunny Hostin, is that we know that she is beginning to realize that there's a lot of conversations going on right now that Disney wants to get rid of her, that they want to fire her. There's even been conversations, by the way, and we lightly talked about this 3 weeks ago, that they would like to cancel The View altogether outright. Now, do I see that happening in 2024? No. Do I see that happening in 2025? A big maybe. A big maybe at this point. It depends on the ratings, whether or not it's going to continue to decline, or if it's going to be an erratic type of behavior where it goes up and down, up and down. We'll have to wait and see how it behaves in 2025. I think the more likely scenario is that, yes, Sunny may very well get booted off and replaced with that more argumentative voice to take her spot. Now, what's interesting about this is that she seemingly is displaying and putting a lot of her anger out on the general public. Now, she goes on to conclude, I have spoke to millions of people around the world, and I think that my platform deserves to be used to also promote the very same thing and just how important DEI really is. I think Jaguar is getting a very bad rap, because I don't want to comment on that too deeply right now. We have to realize that companies are riding on these programs because of fear and ridding them. Fear from these people that want to live in a terrible lifestyle for the next 4 years, and it's upsetting to me. It really is. There needs to be some form of balance to prevent sexism and misogyny from being normalized. So, look, people like Whoopi, Joy Behar, people like Sunny Hostin, they always go on that trope, right? They always go on that argument that everybody wants to see sexism and misogyny become normalized. That is not the case at all. Alright, that's a big lie. That is a false narrative. They talk about false narratives. That's a false narrative from them. They basically being thrown on the public, and I think it's only hurting themselves more in the end. That's why the ratings on many different programs within the media are beginning to fall, especially when it comes down to The View. That's exactly why they're trying to get an argumentative voice on the program to challenge Whoopi Goldberg, to challenge Joy Behar. Will that increase ratings? I highly doubt it, because everybody's not really, out of place or out of touch with reality. Everyone knows what's going on. This is all being done out of desperation. And I think a lot of these studios, a lot of these corporations, and a lot of these, industries, they only view people in the form of numbers, a lot of them. Not all, but a lot of them, especially in the Hollywood bubble. They view people as numbers. They don't see them as an individual person and how they view these programs. They're not thinking about the person. And that's why I think that you always see a lot of these companies doubling down on DEI. They don't care what they think. They're just going to keep shoehorning their agenda no matter what, while others have some form of common sense to the point where they're like, yeah, this isn't working really. Let's ditch that overall idea. And you see it happening now. But I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Sunny Hostin and the ongoing issues over at ABC. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.